the theory is that there's foul play. So what do we mean by that? Maybe that it's a homicide. Maybe that it was planned. And as we go through these points, that it kind of becomes more and more clear. If they took his wallet, maybe he was robbed. Maybe there's a reason why it was taken. How he was found, obviously we've just covered that. There's no suicide note, which in my mind would suggest that it was quite a. If it was a murder, it was maybe done quite quickly, because I think if you were going to try to frame it this way, frame it as a suicide, you would go to those steps. You wouldn't, unless there's a level of incompetence like from whoever did this. Moving it forward, there's unexplained injuries on his body that were inconsistent with a hanging. And again, his family is kind of indicating it's quite suspicious. The areas in particular are his neck, arms, shoulders, ribs, buttocks, and groin, and blunt force injuries as well. This was not explained by the authorities. And obviously, it's suggested that maybe there was a struggle or an assault of some description, which obviously lends more weight to this homicide theory. What say you on this front? Because this goes into the autopsy, which we'll get into, but that right there should tell you quite a lot, right?
We can't get in the autopsy because it hasn't been released.
Right. I know.
That'd be hard. So, yeah. So, the body. They found multiple contusions all over the body. The authorities would not let the family see the bodies after 2 days after he was found.
This is what drives me crazy, because it's like, surely all of this is standard procedure. You let the family see the body. but it's the standard thing we see. Like, identify the body. Is this your son, father, etc.? That's an autopsy. I don't know, actually. Is an autopsy, is it always conducted as standard, or is it only in the event that there's a suspicious
I'm not
death?
a coroner.
Okay.
I'm not an expert, but I think when a relatively healthy 35-year-old man, black man, shows up supposedly hanging from monkey bars in a predominantly white suburb that on the record has no murders, that's questionable at best. And you put all these 21 anomalies to the test. I think it's unfathomable. The idea that the autopsy was originally denied, then when the family and the protesters showed up at the park and protested, then apparently there was an autopsy and it's never been released. And in their defense, perhaps the family didn't want it released, but I don't think that's the case. I think they muscled the family. I think it's and I don't want to get to it. I don't want to get into details I don't feel comfortable talking about.
Sure.
I think this was a relatively a family that probably didn't have a lot of means, probably was intimidated by the police, and was very uncomfortable about speaking up. And the idea, put this in perspective. You have your son or your brother or your father, is a father of three, is identified as being dead, and the body is withheld for 2 days. That is like, this is like the Keystone Cops. This you cannot make this stuff up. The idea that, why are they holding the body? Why are you holding the body? Why are you not disclosing the body? The idea that you refused to originally do an autopsy, and apparently you did. I mean, what's someone going to do when they go see the body? The coroner's there, the police are there, the detective's there, the assistant DA's probably there. What's someone going to do to identify the body? They're not going to, you're not going to be touching it. You normally, pull down the sheets, and yes, that's odd.